Dear everyone's. What if leadership isn't about having all the answers, but surviving when there are none? In this video, we dive into one of the most brutally honest and inspiring books ever written about building and running a business. The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. The book is a compelling and brutally honest exploration of the unique and often harrowing challenges faced by leaders, particularly in the fast-paced, unpredictable world of technology startups. Unlike many management books that offer prescriptive recipes for success, Horowitz asserts that there are no easy formulas for the complex, dynamic situations inherent in building a high-tech company or leading people through trouble. Instead, the book draws on Horowitz's own intense experiences as an entrepreneur, CEO, and venture capitalist, offering battle-tested advice and insights into the struggle that inevitably accompanies the journey of creation. The core premise is that the truly hard things in business are not about setting audacious goals or hiring great people, but about navigating the inevitable nightmares. Laying people off, dealing with entitlement, getting people to communicate, and waking up in a cold sweat when dreams turn into reality. The book aims to provide clues and inspiration for others who find themselves in the struggle to build something out of nothing. Embracing the struggle, the unavoidable reality of leadership. Horowitz frames entrepreneurship as an intense struggle, an omnipresent state of doubt, fear, and immense pressure. He describes it as the time when leaders wonder why they started, when employees might suspect them of lying, when food loses its taste, and when self-doubt spirals into self-hatred. It is a lonely and unforgiving period, a land of broken promises and crushed dreams, yet, paradoxically, it is where greatness comes from. Horowitz shares several pieces of counterintuitive wisdom for navigating this struggle. Don't put it all on your shoulders. While leaders bear immense responsibility, they should share burdens where possible. Opening up about problems, even existential threats, can rally the team and bring more brains to bear on solutions. For example, when Opsware was losing competitive deals, Horowitz told the entire company they were getting our asses kicked, and were going to die if they didn't fix it, leading to the team rallying to build a winning product. This is not checkers. This is motherfucking chess. In complex, dynamic technology businesses, there is always a move, no matter how dire the situation seems. Even when faced with seemingly impossible odds, such as taking Loudcloud public with minimal revenue and cash, Horowitz emphasizes that a CEO's task is to find a path forward. Play long enough and you might get lucky. The technological landscape changes so rapidly that simply surviving long enough can bring unexpected solutions. Don't take it personally. While leaders often bear the ultimate blame for company failures, dwelling on personal fault is unhelpful. Mistakes are inevitable, and evaluating oneself with an F does not aid recovery. Remember that this is what separates the women from the girls. The struggle is the ultimate challenge for aspiring leaders, and facing it head-on is a prerequisite for greatness. A critical aspect of the struggle is recognizing that there are no silver bullets for existential threats, only lead bullets. This means facing the fundamental, difficult problems head-on, rather than seeking easy workarounds or pivots. For instance, when Netscape's web server was 5 times slower than Microsoft's free offering, the only solution was to make their product faster, not to seek alternative markets or acquisitions. Similarly, when Opsware was losing to BladeLogic, the answer was to build a better product, not to go down market, or acquire a simpler architecture. Horowitz emphasizes that companies must be good enough to win, or they question their right to exist. Finally, in the face of immense pressure and difficult circumstances, nobody cares. This blunt truth means that rationalizations, excuses, or explanations for failure are meaningless. The media, investors, board, employees, and even family don't care about the reasons for failure, they care about results. The only productive use of energy is to devote all of one's time to finding the one seemingly impossible way out of your current mess. Leading people through hard times. One of the foundational lessons is to take care of the people, the products, and the profits, in that order. Horowitz believes that if you fail to take care of your people, the other two won't matter. 1. Telling it like it is the imperative of transparency. Horowitz emphasizes that his single biggest personal improvement as CEO occurred on the day when I stopped being too positive. The positivity delusion leads CEOs to believe they should project a sunny demeanor to rally troops, but this fundamentally misunderstands human psychology. Employees know reality is nuanced and resent a CEO blowing sunshine up their butts. The imperative to tell it like it is stems from 3 reasons. Trust. The required amount of communication is inversely proportional to trust. Transparency builds trust, making communication vastly more efficient as a company grows. More brains on hard problems. Smart employees are wasted if they don't know about the company's biggest problems. Openly discussing issues leverages the collective intelligence to find solutions. Culture. In healthy cultures, bad news travels fast, good news travels slow. Companies that cover up problems frustrate everyone, while those that encourage sharing bad news can solve them quickly. This also means beware of management maxims like, "Don't bring me a problem without bringing me a solution," if they stifle the flow of critical information. 2. The right way to lay people off. Layoffs are incredibly difficult and can shatter a company's culture. Horowitz attributes Opsware's ability to recover from multiple massive layoffs to doing them the right way. Get your head right. Focus on the future, not past failures. Don't delay. Leaks cause agitation and force managers to lie or look stupid. Be clear about why. Layoffs are due to company failure to hit a plan, not individual performance issues. Admitting company failure helps rebuild trust. Train your managers. Managers must lay off their own people. This is critical because employees will remember every detail of that day, and the manager's courage builds respect and preserves the company's reputation. Managers should explain what happened, state the decision is non-negotiable, and provide benefit details. Address the entire company. The CEO must deliver the overall message to provide context and support for managers. This message is primarily for the people who are staying, demonstrating how their colleagues are treated. Be visible, be present. The CEO should not hide. Talking to people, helping them, and showing appreciation helps retain trust and morale among survivors. 3. Preparing to fire an executive. Firing an executive is typically a symptom of a system failure in the hiring or integration process, not just executive incompetence. Horowitz outlines a 4-step process. Root cause analysis. Understand why the wrong person was hired. Common reasons include poorly defining the position, hiring for lack of weakness rather than world-class strengths, often in consensus-based hiring processes, hiring for scale too soon, bringing in someone for a large future organization when the current need is for immediate growth, hiring for the generic position rather than the specific needs of your company at this time. The executive having the wrong kind of ambition for personal success over company success. Failure to integrate the executive effectively. Informing the board. Get their support, input on severance, and preserve the fired executive's reputation. Preparing for the conversation. Script or rehearse what to say. Be clear. Use decisive language, and have the severance package ready. You cannot let him keep his job, but you absolutely can let him keep his respect. Preparing company communication. Inform direct reports first, then staff, then the rest of the company, all on the same day. The CEO should step into the role temporarily. Keep the message positive and avoid trashing the executive, as this signals to other employees that they might be next. Treat employees like adults, and they will generally act like adults. 4. Demoting a loyal friend. This is one of the hardest decisions, driven by a need to bring in someone with more experience. The Confucian approach applies. The good of the individual must be sacrificed for the good of the whole. Key emotions for the friend will be embarrassment and betrayal. The process involves being decided, If you are not fully committed to the decision, it will create a mess. Deciding on the best new role, whether they stay under the new boss, risking sabotage cocktail, or move to a different area for new skill development. Breaking the news. Use decisive language. I have decided. Admit reality, e.g., if the CEO is also underskilled, acknowledge contributions, and, if appropriate, offer increased compensation to show value. The goal is honesty, clarity, and effectiveness, even if it's deeply upsetting. 5. The most difficult CEO skill: managing your own psychology. Horowitz notes that this is the fight club of management. Nobody talks about the psychological meltdown. CEOs are constantly learning on the job, making mistakes, and bearing ultimate responsibility for widespread issues that can make them feel sick. This can lead to two mistakes: taking things too personally, terrorizing the team, or self-imploding, or not personally enough, rationalizing problems and failing to fix them. The CEO must be urgent but not insane, separating the importance of issues from personal emotional culpability. The job is also incredibly lonely. Fundamental questions about the company's viability often cannot be discussed with employees or even effectively with external advisors due to a vast knowledge gap. Horowitz shares techniques that helped him. Make some friends. Talk to other CEOs who have faced similar challenges. Get it out of your head and onto paper. Writing down complex decisions or anxieties can separate the leader from their own psychology. Focus on the road, not the wall. Concentrate on where you are going, not what you hope to avoid. Dwelling on potential problems can lead to them. Ultimately, great CEOs don't punk out and don't quit. They face the pain, the sleepless nights, and the torture. Their success often boils down to this single attribute: perseverance. 6. The fine line between fear and courage. Drawing on boxing trainer Cus D'Amato, Horowitz explains that fear and courage feel the same. The difference lies in action. The most important decisions test courage more than intelligence, especially when the right decision is unpopular or has short-term negative consequences. CEOs often face social pressure to align with the crowd, even when their intuition suggests otherwise. This can make a close call seem safer with the crowd, but it's a trap. Courage, like character, can be developed by consistently making the hard, correct decisions despite internal fear. Every time a CEO makes the hard, correct decision, they become more courageous, and vice versa. This choice ultimately defines a company's character. 7. Peacetime CEO, wartime CEO. Horowitz distinguishes between two vastly different management styles. Peacetime CEO operates when the company has a large competitive advantage and a growing market. Focuses on expanding the market, reinforcing strengths, broad-based creativity, and contribution. Values protocol, empowers people, builds scalable recruiting, and defines culture. Examples: Google under Eric Schmidt fostering 20% time for innovation. Wartime CEO operates when the company faces an imminent existential threat from competition, market change, or other sources. Survival depends on strict adherence and alignment to a core mission. Violates protocol, focuses on minute details that impact the prime directive, builds HR for layoffs, and lets the war define the culture. Examples: Andy Grove leading Intel out of the memory business, or Steve Jobs returning to Apple on the brink of bankruptcy. The two styles are radically different and can be highly effective in their respective situations. While difficult, Horowitz believes a CEO can master both by understanding when to follow and when to violate management rules. 8. Making yourself a CEO. Mastering the unnatural. Being a CEO is an unnatural job, requiring actions that go against human instinct for self-preservation and social acceptance. These unnatural motions include constantly evaluating performance, giving feedback, handling politics, setting compensation, and firing people. Feedback. While the shit sandwich, compliment, criticism, can work for beginners, elite feedback requires authenticity, genuine care for the recipient's success, and a focus on behavior, not the person. It must be direct but not mean, and should open up dialogue, not shut it down. High-frequency feedback makes it less personal and fosters a culture where bad news travels fast. The uncomfortable feeling of giving feedback is part of the process of getting made as a CEO. Building a resilient and high-performing organization. Beyond individual leadership, the book delves into how to build robust company structures and practices. 1. A good place to work. A good workplace isn't just a perk. It's the difference between life and death when things go wrong. When economics are bad, employees leave bad companies, leading to a death spiral. In contrast, Go Corporation, a famous startup failure, was remembered fondly by its employees as the best work experience ever, despite career stagnation and no financial gain, because it was a good place to work. This illustrates Bill Campbell's dedication to building good companies, where people can focus on work, trust processes, and feel motivated and fulfilled. The CEO's role is to ensure managers consistently meet with their people and make expectations clear, even if it requires demanding immediate action from subordinates. 2. Why startups should train their people. Many startups assume their smart employees don't need training, but this is a mistake. Drawing on Andy Grove's Why Training is the Boss's Job, Horowitz argues that training is one of the highest leverage activities a manager can perform. 4 core reasons for training. Productivity. Training significantly improves employee output, making investments in recruiting truly productive. Performance management. Clear expectations set through training are the foundation for fair and consistent performance management. Product quality. Without proper training, new engineers may replicate existing functionality or introduce inconsistencies, leading to a Frankenstein product. Employee retention. People quit due to bad managers, lack of guidance, feedback, or not learning anything. Training addresses both by improving management quality and offering skill development. Training should be functional, job-specific knowledge, and management-focused, setting expectations for managers. It must be mandatory, and the CEO should teach management expectations personally to reinforce their importance. Horowitz's Good Product Manager, Bad Product Manager document is cited as an example of effective, simple functional training that instantly improved team performance. 3. Hiring executives. Horowitz offers crucial advice on hiring at the executive level, especially when the CEO has no direct experience in the role being hired. If you've never done the job, how do you hire somebody good? The key is to know what you want. This means overcoming ignorance by acting in the role yourself to gain the necessary knowledge, and consulting domain experts. Avoid hiring based on look and feel, seeking a platonic ideal, or valuing lack of weakness over strength. The CEO must make the lonely decision, not defer to consensus. The hiring process should involve specific criteria: function, operations, strategy, team effectiveness, targeted questions, and rigorous reference checks, both front door and back door. Why it's hard to bring big company execs into little companies. Big company executives operate in an interrupt-driven rhythm, optimizing existing business. Startups, however, require proactive, initiative-driven individuals who can create things from scratch. There's a mismatch in rhythm and skill sets. Horowitz provides interview questions to screen for these mismatches, e.g., what will you do in your first month? Why do you want to join a small company? Once hired, aggressive integration is crucial. Force them to create, ensure they get it by asking questions, and put them in the mix with peers. When smart people are bad employees, intelligence is crucial, but not sufficient. Horowitz categorizes disruptive intelligent employees as the heretic, constantly building a case that the company is hopeless, often due to disempowerment or immaturity. The flake, unreliable despite genius, often due to problematic root causes like drug issues. And the jerk, belligerent communication that destroys communication within the executive team. He uses the hold the bus Metaphor. From John Madden. To illustrate that only truly exceptional talent warrants special accommodation, and only a very few can be tolerated in an organization. The CEO must manage these individuals closely to prevent cultural damage. 4. How to minimize politics in your company. Politics, people advancing careers through non-merit means, often stems unintentionally from the CEO's actions. For example, giving out-of-cycle raises based on agitation rather than performance incentivizes political behavior. To minimize politics, hire people with the right kind of ambition. Ambition for the company's success, with personal success as a byproduct, is key. This is particularly critical for sales leaders, as local incentives can lead to fraud. People with the team prism tend to deflect credit and focus on how the company will win. Build strict processes for potentially political issues and do not deviate. Performance evaluation and compensation. Regular, well-structured reviews ensure fairness and minimize political machinations for raises. Organizational design and territory. Evaluate regularly, but make decisions and execute reorgs swiftly, without tipping people off to avoid lobbying. Promotions. A formal, visible, and defensible promotion process, including leveling across groups, prevents perceptions of unfairness or political favoritism. Be careful with, he said, she said, address behavioral complaints by getting both parties in a room. For competency complaints, assess quickly and decisively. Don't let accusations cripple an executive before judgment. 5. Titles and promotions. Titles matter for employees' future careers and for clarifying roles within a growing company. However, they come with dangers. The Peter Principle. People are promoted to their level of incompetence. The law of crappy people. Talent at any title level will converge to the crappiest person with that title, as others benchmark themselves against the lowest acceptable standard. To mitigate these, a disciplined promotion process is essential. This involves crisp definitions of responsibilities and skills for each level, and a formal promotions council that levels promotions across groups, ensuring quality and fairness. Horowitz also discusses the Andreessen versus Zuckerberg approach to title size. Andreessen suggests high titles are cheap and help in recruiting, while Zuckerberg prefers lower titles to ensure new employees are re-leveled correctly, boost internal morale, and reinforce that product engineering is the cultural core. Regardless of the absolute level, a disciplined internal leveling and promotion process is critical to prevent obsession over inequities. 6. Programming your culture. Culture is more than perks like dogs at work or yoga. Those are perks, not culture. Culture is a designed way of working that distinguishes the company, preserves critical values, and helps identify employees who fit the mission. Horowitz advocates for cultural design points that are trivial to implement but have far-reaching behavioral consequences due to their shock value. Examples include Amazon's door desks, a constant reminder of frugality, reinforcing customer value over extravagance. Andreessen Horowitz's $10 per minute fine for being late to entrepreneur meetings, instilling a deep respect for entrepreneurs' time and commitment. Facebook's "Move fast and break things" motto, encouraging innovation and risk-taking, even if it causes short-term problems. These mechanisms, while sometimes disturbing, effectively change behavior and embed core values into the company's daily operations. Strategic thinking and evaluation. 1. Solving the accountability versus creativity paradox. This paradox involves balancing holding employees accountable for commitments with fostering creativity and risk-taking, especially when solving difficult, unpredictable problems. Horowitz advises assuming employees have good intentions. Accountability for effort. World-class effort is non-negotiable. Accountability for promises. Make a commitment, keep a commitment, is vital for getting things done, especially for straightforward tasks. Accountability for results. This is more nuanced and depends on the seniority of the employee, the degree of difficulty of the problem, and whether stupid risks were taken. Punishing good risks discourages future innovation, but not holding accountable for obvious failures makes productive employees feel like chumps. The CEO must weigh these factors to decide if a missed result is a teaching moment or a disciplinary one. 2. Should you sell your company? This is one of the most difficult decisions, fraught with both logical and emotional factors. The logical. Horowitz suggests that if a company is very early on in a very large market and has a good chance of being number one, then it should likely remain standalone. In such cases, no acquirer can afford its true potential value. This contrasts with companies whose market might shrink or who lack a clear path to market leadership. Horowitz's decision to sell Opsware to HP for $1.65 billion despite his emotional attachment was based on a re-evaluation of the market. It was subsumed by a larger one, fierce competition, BMC plus BladeLogic, and a new technological shift, virtualization, requiring significant R&D, making a standalone path less attractive than a local valuation peak. The emotional. Selling a company can feel like betraying one's dream and employees. To mute emotions, Horowitz suggests, pay the CEO a market salary. This separates the decision from the CEO's personal financial desperation. Be clear with the company. Communicate the criteria for a potential sale upfront, e.g., if the company achieves product market fit in a very large market and has an excellent chance to be number one, it will likely remain independent. If not, it will likely be sold. This manages employee expectations and aligns interests. 3. How to evaluate CEOs. Horowitz defines the CEO's job through 3 key evaluative questions. Does the CEO know what to do? This encompasses setting the right strategy, the story of the company, its why, and making high-quality, fast decisions based on continuously gathered information, even with incomplete data. Courage is paramount here, as crucial decisions are often unpopular. Can the CEO get the company to do what she knows? This requires leadership, articulating vision, right ambition, competence, and operational skills. It involves building a world-class team and ensuring it is easy for any given individual contributor to get her job done, by minimizing politics, bureaucracy, and miscommunication. Did the CEO achieve the desired results against an appropriate set of objectives? This black box evaluation is a lagging indicator. Crucially, the objectives themselves must be appropriate for the company's unique opportunity, not artificially low or based on other companies' metrics. The white box criteria, knowing what to do and getting it done, are better predictors of future success. The end of the beginning. A new kind of venture capital. Horowitz reflects on his own journey, noting that he only truly learned how to be a CEO through experience and the mentorship of people like Bill Campbell. This led him and Mark Andreessen to found Andreessen Horowitz, a 16Z, a venture capital firm designed to help technical founders succeed as CEOs. Their motto became, "Some experience required," meaning their general partners must have experience founding and running companies. They recognized 2 key deficits in technical founders compared to professional CEOs: a lack of CEO skill set, management, organizational design, and a limited CEO network, executives, customers, press. While skills are learned through experience, a 16Z aimed to accelerate this learning through mentorship and, crucially, to systematize and professionalize the network for their portfolio companies. They modeled their firm after Michael Ovitz's Creative Artists Agency, CAA, building an integrated network of specialists for large companies, executives, engineers, press, analysts, and investors, acquirers. This unique model, launched with significant marketing, defying traditional VC secrecy, resonated with entrepreneurs and quickly propelled a 16Z to the top tier of venture capital. In closing, Horowitz acknowledges that he is now perceived as a management guru, due to the successful sale of Opsware in his writings, a perception he didn't have during his CEO tenure. This freedom to speak openly, without the burden of unrelenting confidence required of a CEO, allows him to share the fears and controversial opinions that hold the clues to dealing with hard things. He concludes that entrepreneurship is a struggle, and the key is to embrace the struggle and leverage one's unique background and instincts. Hard things will remain hard, but seeking insights and courage within oneself is the path forward. Thank you for watching. If this summary spoke to you, inspired you, or helped you feel a little less alone in the hard things, hit that subscribe button. More honest, powerful book insights are coming your way, and I'd love for you to be part of the journey.